So what's the review process that insurance companies undergo with their adjusters when it comes to approving a roof claim? We're going to talk about the process and some things that you need to be on the lookout for in this video. My name is Mike Keeler. I'm a licensed public adjuster in the state of Florida. All right, so the initial step is you're going to report the claim to your insurance company. And essentially, you're going to talk to some type of customer service representative who is trained on taking claims, asking questions possibly, depending on the insurance company. So just so you know, some insurance companies just have drop-down menus for their customer service people, the people who take the claims. Some, they enable their representatives to take notes, and others, it's simply the recording itself, and then they fill in some spots. But there is also can be a combination of all those, right? A recording, they can take notes, and it's drop-down menus. When I mean drop-down menus, for instance, let's say you call a claim and you say you have water damage. So they have a list, it's a drop-down menu, theft, vandalism, hurricane, fire, lightning, goes to water damage, and then they select that. So then it goes and it gets assigned to a desk adjuster and a field adjuster. All right, desk adjuster and field adjuster. Sometimes it goes to the desk adjuster and then it's assigned from a field adjuster. Sometimes a field adjuster is assigned before the desk adjuster. Really depends on the insurance company. I would say now this is probably more common where it normally gets assigned to the field adjuster first and then the desk adjuster. But again, depends on the workflow of the claim. It doesn't really matter at this stage in the game. But two adjusters are essentially working on your claim. The field adjuster is not a direct employee of that insurance company. That person will probably work for multiple insurance companies, but they are still 100% loyal to insurance companies and they are not there to help you. So the second phase of this claim is really going to be the inspection, is what I call the inspection and a background. So the field adjuster will contact you, schedule an appointment to come out. The desk adjuster might also make contact with you, but let's talk about the field adjuster first. Okay. So again, this is about a roof claim. Depending if it's hail or wind, okay, that's how we'll know what questions they ask. In both scenarios, both the desk and the field adjuster will want to know the age of the roof, or they'll look it up. They have that information. There's within their framework of the computer program, they will have the age of your roof. So what the field adjuster might do is compare the date of loss with a weather component, if there was a weather component, meaning high winds, and if there were other claims filed in the area. They will know that. If you happen to be one of the only people in your area that filed a claim for your roof because of a storm, it's not going to go well. I could probably assure you of that. But if it was a pretty widespread storm with a lot of wind, and the adjuster's familiar with that, that's going to help you. So the desk adjuster here, they may also check with the weather for any type of wind events. Unlikely initially, but they might. They might ask for a recorded statement along the line. This will be the phase that they do it, possibly towards the beginning. But that's going to depend on a couple things. That's going to depend, what did you say when you called in the claim? Okay, is there any red flags that they can attest was said, and then they'll want to record a statement of that. Also, maybe what the field adjuster's report is on whether or not they perceived the damage to be old. Meaning, in other words, that your roof is just old. So they're going to try and say because it's old, there's just wear and tear, and it was time for it to need to be replaced. That's if you're looking at 10 years or greater, the age of your roof. So, and as I put here, they both probably will know the age of your roof at some point. If not when they initially get the claim, then at some point they will. Um, there's also going to be this link up between the field adjuster and the desk adjuster in talking about your claim. We'll talk about that on this next slide. But this is where the bread is made. The ingredients are in, and now the bread's being made. The question's going to be, does the bread go in an oven, and does it bake and come out crispy, golden, and delicious? So during the inspection with the field adjuster, he should be doing an estimate when he's at the property. If not, that's a red flag. All right, that's a red flag. And he might be wanting to have further discussions with the adjuster. What would those discussions be about? Again, the age of the roof, how old it is. Okay. If they don't believe that there was hail or wind damage attributable for the claim. The other thing is that if you say, for instance, that this happened from a rainstorm, well, rain isn't covered unless normally wind creates an opening. So then you need to prepare for the next step. And this is where things get interesting. Not much I need to say with this slide. This is where it can go downhill relatively fast. Okay. So the process we just went through is probably 2 to 3 weeks. And we're at this third week. Second, third week, depending how fast everything goes. So we're at this point, and these are the warnings. So, stage where everything goes south. So the field adjuster came out. You've tried to contact the desk adjuster. You're not having any luck, and you haven't heard anything from the desk adjuster or the insurance company. This is usually the point where a couple of weeks have went by after the field adjuster's inspection when he came to your house. And you're feeling good, right? Field adjuster's there, friendly guy, seems very nice, talks to you about his family, how he ate a chocolate chip cookie. You're like, wow, this is going to be easy. So it's at this stage where a couple things can develop. If more than likely, if you're in Florida, possibly Texas, some of these other southern states, Alabama, especially Florida, this is where the greatest likelihood that an engineer is going to be scheduled, which usually means bad things are going to happen, and usually that's a denial. So this is the point, a couple weeks after the field adjuster, where you don't hear anything. Okay, so this is where if you don't live in Florida, Texas, Alabama, Louisiana, you're going to have a better chance of the insurance company paying you for a roof claim, because Florida is by far the worst in the USA as far as roof claims, paying for roof claims, the coverage for roof claims. It's a nightmare. So if you haven't had any contact from an engineer, let's just say you're already 3 to 4 weeks into this claim, that's probably going to be a good thing. All right. So let's just say that is the case. You haven't had any engineer contact you. you've been in contact with the desk adjuster here in the last couple weeks, and I'm looking for something. This could be where everything goes good for you. Again, if you're not in these states, because this is going to be the point where your claim gets approved for a new roof. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, I talk and break down your deductible, the age of the roof, depreciation, whether you have replacement costs or actual cash value. We're not going to get into all that right now. I have other videos on that. This is simply for um, letting you know that within 30 days, this whole review and approval process for your roof should be concluded. If it's going beyond 30 days, that's something to be worried about. Because usually there's going to be other things involved. And you'll know it. As I put up the warnings before, you'll know it. Especially with these insurance companies on how they handle it. We're coming up on storm season pretty soon, in a couple months. We're in the beginning of May. But in Florida, usually it starts in September. We don't really get too much in August. Other states as well. If you're along the Panhandle, the Gulf of Mexico, basically these states right here. All right. So this is just a brief overview. I could get more detail, but so you know what to expect on the process and approximately when, if you get your roof paid for by the insurance company, and when that would take place on this time frame. Not everything aligns like this because every different state has the amount of days that the insurance company has to make a coverage decision. In Florida, it used to be 90, and then in 2023, was it? They changed it to 60 days. Some states it's 30, some states it's 45. I think there's only a couple left that are 90, if any. So most of them tend to be between 30 and 60 days. So that means they have to let you know, hey, we're denying your claim, or yeah, we're going to pay you something. It could be $1, but that's all they have to do is at least make a coverage determination. Hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Mike Keeler. Again, I'm a licensed public adjuster in Florida. If you have any questions or need help with a claim, that's how you can get in touch with me. Thank you.